Hey YouTube, I am Kimbo and I blog at agirlandagluegun.com, and today I have another Silhouette Love lesson for you. Silhouette Love is a series I started because I want you guys to love your silhouette as much as I love my silhouette, and I feel like a lot of people are intimidated by the silhouette. So I'm just walking you through step by step on all the fun little things that the silhouette's capable of. So today we are cutting vinyl without a mat on our silhouette cameo. And the only reason I'm doing a video for this is because every time on my Instagram stories, if I show my cutter cutting vinyl, I get so many comments about, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're cutting vinyl without a mat. I'm too chicken to do it. So I am calling all you chickens out. We're gonna put our big girl pennies on and I'm gonna show you how to cut vinyl without a mat. It is really easy, it's not that hard, and the main reason why I do it is because I'm too cheap. I don't wanna use my mat if I don't have to. I want my mat to stay as sticky as long as possible so I don't have to buy a new one. So I am on my Silhouette Cameo 3. I have my Silhouette Cameo 4, but I wanted to finish out this series using my 3 before I switched to my 4. So same, you can still cut vinyl without a mat on your 4 and your 2. I've been doing it pretty much since I've been cutting vinyl. So it works with all the Silhouette machines, and I'm going to walk you through step by step. Okay, before we even start anything with the Silhouette, we have to make sure that our cut settings on our Silhouette Studio are correct. So if you are not cutting without a mat, you want to make sure that no mat is selected. So over here, very top right, is our page setup. There is a cutting mat. You can scroll down. This is what it looks like when there is a cutting mat. You want to make sure there is no cutting mat. If you have a cutting mat selected but you're not using a cutting mat, the Silhouette will think that it has an extra inch here at the top. It's going to think it has extra room. So you want to make sure that you have no mat selected. Another thing that you want to select is this show cut border. I actually always have it on. So what happens is, if you think about your vinyls getting loaded into the machine, this is where the rollers are keeping the vinyl in place, right here along the sides, which means the blade cannot go over there and cut. So if you have a big design and it's overlapping and it's going clear to the edge, the blade can't get over there because the rollers are in their way. So this will not get cut. So you want to make sure that everything that is part of your design is in this cut border. And then of course you want to make sure your cut settings are correct over here with what your material is using. And then of course I'm going to talk about test cutting because I love it, and that's right over here. Okay, so on the screen I have no mat selected. I've got my lines up. I'm ready to go. Loading the vinyl. You need a big piece of vinyl. It needs to be either 12 inches wide or 9 inches wide, and let me tell you why. The Silhouette has 2 rollers, and that is what feeds the vinyl through and keeps it nice and even for the blade to cut it. If the vinyl is not wide enough to stay under both of the rollers, it's going to stay under this roller, and then this one's going to totally move, and it's going to be a mess is what it's going to happen. So you have to make sure that your vinyl is wide enough to stay under both rollers. So 12 inches is where this roller's at. You can actually unhook it and slide it over to a 9-inch. There's a 9-inch groove. So you can cut a little bit smaller. But if you're going anywhere smaller than that, you're going to have to pull out a mat. So big piece of vinyl needs to stay under the rollers the whole time. All right, here are the rollers. This one is set at the 9-inch mark. It's actually like 8.5, but we're gonna round up. 9-inch mark. To move it over, you're gonna flip this down and slide it. See the little grooves? I'm gonna put it in that groove. The groove out here is for the mat. Same with this groove. The inside groove is cutting without a mat. Now let me tell you what, the Silhouette 4, you can move this with one hand, not 2 hands. So I'm really excited about that feature. And then if you see, I've locked it into place by moving it down. You want to make sure it's locked so the roller wheel doesn't move. And then you're going to put it back up and lock it down into place. Okay, so when you're loading your vinyl, now this works for heat transfer and adhesive. It does not work for cardstock on the 3. If you think about cardstock, after you've cut it out, it's going to fall down through, and it's going to be a big mess in pieces. The Silhouette 4 actually has a cool new feature where it kind of notches it, so you have to punch it out so it doesn't fall down through, so you can actually cut cardstock without a mat on the 4, but on the 3 you can't. Okay, so when we are loading this, they've given us nice guides. Excuse me. I've been super sick the last couple weeks. So you see this line? I'm going to line up my vinyl with this line and this arrow. And I'm going to eyeball, because the straighter it is, the best chance of not having it go awry. So I'm completely lined up over here. I'm going to hold it into place. I'm going to push load. And I'm going to make sure that it's nice and even. Okay, I did want to show you what happens if you don't line it up perfectly straight. So we're going to just kind of line it up. Push load. See, so it's under both rollers right now. And if you see the gap up here, you can tell that it's a little bit off. Well, it's not a big deal if you're cutting something small, but let's say you're cutting something that is like 18 inches long. Well, what happens as you cut and the vinyl moves down, you're going to notice it's going to get further and further from underneath this roller. You see how it's slowly, like it's just barely underneath the roller. So this piece is only 12 inches. So if it's 24 inches or 18 inches, you're going to be, this is going to totally come out from underneath that roller. So you're going to cut out half of it really nice. And then as you get down here, it's going to get off and totally move. So if you notice over here, do you see how much extra space is over on this side of the roller? Hardly any on this side. So that is one of the main reasons to load it up as straight as possible. I did want to show you a little closer up of just lining it up nice and straight with this line, this guide over here on the side. Hold it in place and load. All right, now I'm going to do a test cut. I always recommend doing a test cut because I hate wasting vinyl. Okay, so I have it on heat transfer settings, and that's why you do a test cut. You do not want it to be popped all the way out like that. So let's try again. All right, this one. That one's much better. Perfect. Okay, I'm ready to load and cut. Ta-da! Okay, so heat transfer vinyl is the same way. You want to make sure that it's fitting underneath the rollers. I always move it to see which way is a little bit wider. Load. And then I'm going to, of course, test cut this too. Just because, just to be safe. You just never know. If your blade is dull or if you have vinyl stuck in your blade, it's just so nice. Just always test cut. All right, we cut heat transfer and adhesive vinyl. Easy peasy with no mat. Pat yourselves on the back. We did it. I'm going to give you a quick checklist really quickly, a quick rundown of the things that you need to do before you cut vinyl without a mat. Make sure there is no mat selected on your Silhouette Studio screen, and then make sure that you have the cut line outline on the screen so your project isn't overlapping that. Make sure that your rollers are where they need to be and they're locked into place with this little handy thing. If you accidentally, I have done this, that's why I'm saying it. If you leave it down, like when you're moving it, it just won't load your vinyl very well. Make sure your vinyl is loaded super, super straight. And it's under both rollers. And let's see, what's the last one? Oh yeah, test cut! Always test cut, guys. Always! I say it in every video. Always test cut. And I think that's it. So, go and cut your vinyl without a mat. Be proud of yourself. Save those mats. Cut really long. I mentioned one thing before I let you go. I've had a couple people that have followed step by step and the vinyl still shifts a little bit. It looks like they're roller on the, let's see, if you're facing your silhouette, the roller on the right side just doesn't clamp down as much as it should. So there is a few situations where you can do all the things right and sometimes it won't work. I'm sorry, but I do want to have that out there in case you're thinking, I did everything and it's still moving. So sometimes it's the silhouette machine's fault and not yours. So just take some comfort in that. Anyways, I hope you like this video. If you guys have ideas for any other Silhouette Love videos, anything else you want to learn, leave me a comment down below. And I would love if you would subscribe. It would be amazing.